Welcome, Super Smarties. Let the learning begin. Let's check in, make your zone known. The goal is to be regulated and ready to learn. Pick any object to show which zone you're in. And our mind shift today is going to be Spider-Man. So we're going to exhale on the out and inhale on the pulling the web slingers in. Okay, so ready? All right, that should help you get a little more centered. The goal is always to be calm, focused, and self-aware, regulated, and ready to learn. All right, let's shift over to our portable calendar. If yesterday was the 20th, one more than 20 is, let's start at 16. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I put a 2 in the tens place. I put a 1 in the ones place. 21. So let me give myself a handy dandy little face space. Trace the face space. Yesterday was, I'm going to reach into my schema and pull out Wednesday. And I can look down. I can also check my smart cards and my smart chart. You should be able to reference back in your composition book or your notebook or your binder. Make sure you're adding this to it. All right, capital W, E, D, N, E, S, D, A, Y. Put a period. So that means today is no longer Wednesday. Today is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Digraph T-H-U-R-S-D-A-Y. Face space, capital T-H-U-R-S-D-A-Y. And then a period, which means tomorrow will be the last day of the school week and the work week. Capital F-R-I-D-A-Y. So let's move this information. Today is Thursday, no longer Wednesday, and it's bucking up very close to my Nano-Lesson. I erased a little bit of it there. Capital T-H-U-R-S-D-A-Y, comma, May 21st, 2 and a 1, 2020. 2 in the thousands place, 0 in the hundreds place, 2 in the tens place, 0 in the ones place. 5-21-20. Yesterday was Wednesday. It's in the past. Today is Thursday. It's in the present. Tomorrow will be Friday. That's in the future. Today is Thursday, May 21st, 2020. Now for our Nano-Lesson, we have 3 math problems here. So what we're looking at is how many total, and then it's asking us to draw one more and then tell, and now. How many now? How many do you see? You're going to add one more, and then you're going to say how many you have in all. And remember today, you can get some traction action on this by trying on a white mat or a piece of paper. Make some sets randomly, or have someone bigger than you make some sets. Record how many. Then say, add 1 more, add 4 more, add 3 more, add 2 more, add that many more, and then count how many in all. All right, so draw 1 more, but first I need to say how many. So I count 1 bear, 2 bears, and then they're asking me to draw 1 more. So I'm going to just make a little bear here. So now there's 2 bears and 1 more bear. Now how many are there? 1, 2, 3. And I can see 3 as 2 and 1 more. Now let's look over here. How many are there? 1, 2, 3 bears. Go right around the tree, right around the tree. That makes 3. It says draw 2 more. Last time I was draw 1 more. Now they want me to draw 2 more. Now how many? And now how many? 1, 2, 3. I can hold the 3 in my head. Count on 4, 5. Across left and down, loop right around. That is how we jive when we make a 5. And how I see 5 is 3 and 2 more. So 3 is 2 and 1 more. Or 2 is 1 less than 3. Or 3 is 1 more than 2. 5 is 3 and 2 more. 3 is 2 less than 5. 5 is 2 more than 3. So now I want to know how many are down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I see is there were 2, and I added 1 more, and then there were 3. There were 3, I added 2 more, then there were 5. So now I have 5 down here, so I'm transferring this information. Once I knew how to write 3, count 3 and write 3, I knew how to count 3 and write 3. Once I knew how to count 5 and write 5, I can transfer that information down to counting 5 and writing 5. It's still across left and down, loop right around. That is how we jive when we make a 5. Now it's asking me to draw 3 more. I've already seen 3, so I know 3 here is 1, 2, 3. So remember, anytime you're working on a sheet and it's asking you to do a recording of information, always reference back to what you've done as you move forward to what it's asking you to do next, because sometimes the information you've already recorded informs what you're doing next. So it's really important that you stay very self-aware in math. What you know how to do helps you do what you're expected to do next. So here I've recorded 5, and I need to draw 3 more. So here's 1 bear. Here's 2 bears. And here are 3 bears. So now I have 5 bears and 3. I had 5 bears here. I had 3 bears here. So how many bears are there in all? That would be the same as this count of bears with this count of bears. And I'm recording it down here. So I have 5. I know there's 5, so I don't have to individually one by one count the 5. I can stop at the 5 and I can count on. Put the 5 in my head. I can even put the 3 in my hands if I need to touch something, because sometimes I can't hold information when it gets bigger and bigger. So I break it down into smaller pieces of information. So 5 and 3 more, 6, 7, 8. I started at 5 in my head and I counted on 5, 6, 7, 8. And I added 1 more each time I touched my chin. I could also touch count these. 5, 6, 7, 8. And if I needed to, I could go back and check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 5 and 3 more is 8 in all. 8 is 3 more than 5. 5 is 3 less than 8. And I see 8 as 5 and 3 more. Math is super flexible and fun, but sometimes even you'll hear me when I'm talking and I'll pause because my mouth has a hard time saying what I'm seeing. So I want you to know, even for big people, sometimes talking about the learning can be very difficult. So you just have to have tenacity and grit. Stay with it and keep pushing it through. And then you'll get better and better at it. Your brain will get smarter and smarter, and you'll get stronger and stronger. Your compressions are the more you work, the mistakes you make, and then the corrections that you make are what help your brain to fluidly store this information. All right, make sure that you've transferred that to your composition book. We're going to move this, and we're going to jump out of math, and we're going to move over into language arts. So now that we finished our Nano-Lesson, Nano-Lesson, we're going to take a learning field trip. So everybody, climb on the bus. Honk, honk, beep, beep. Psh. Time to build up our schema. I'm going to dump mine out. You can scoop it up, stick it in your smart brain. Little brain bite, schema snack. All right, there's a lot of words on here, so I'm going to support it by doing the reading and saying the words out loud. But what I do want you to do is, if you can, stop this right now and you try reading it. Transfer it into your book. If you can't, read along with me or echo read me or echo read after me, and then come back later and revisit this so that you can read these words. Most of them are simple enough to sound out. Some are a little bit tricky. All right, what we're looking at here is antonyms. That's the big Harvard fancy language arts word for opposites. So we're looking at antonyms. We've done that on some other things, but I wanted to transfer it over into our learning using context clues. So I want you to look at the information that's there and then think, by using the pictures and the words that you hear, make a deduction about what the answer has to be. So there are two sentences, and then there are two choices for the fill in the blank for the second one. The first sentence is going to be information. The second sentence is going to require that you find the opposite information to complete the sentence. Now remember, we're not defining the isolated information in the first sentence. We're finding its opposite. That's what's important. So listen to what I said, process it and think. During the, and you see a sun and a house, and what's showing is the day. During the day, Alberto likes to swim. So what does he do during the day? He likes to swim. And when does he swim? During the day, when the sun is out. Now here's the blank. At blank, he likes to read. So if during the day he likes to swim, what's the opposite of the day? Is it the morning or is it the night? At morning, he likes to read. At night, he likes to read. We don't really talk like at morning, and morning is an opposite of day. Morning is part of the day. At night, he likes to read. Does that sound like how we talk? It does. And is night the opposite of day? Yes, it is. So let's put a ring around the night. At night, not the morning, at night, he likes to read. N-I-G-H-T. During the day, Alberto likes to swim. At night, he likes to read. Now let's try the next one. The pitcher looked dull, so Mom washed it. Now, pitcher is something that you would put liquid in and pour it, and when the liquid is poured out, it can leave residue. Some of the liquid can have dried and stained the pitcher, so it won't look like it's clean anymore. It would look dull. And even if you put water in it, can look dull from the condensation on the side. The pitcher looked dull, so Mom washed it. Now listen to the second sentence. The pitcher looked blank when she was done. So did it look dirty when she was done or shiny when she was done? Now, dull in this context means what? It probably means dirty. That's why she washed it. The pitcher looked dirty when she was done. When you're all done washing something, should it look dirty? No, it should look clean and very shiny. And our second choice is shiny. Look at the picture of the picture. Here, it looks dirty. Here, it also still looks dirty. So both of those would be dull. And here, it looks shiny. So the opposite of dull is not dirty. Dirty and dull kind of, they're not completely synonyms, but it would look dull if it were dirty. But the opposite of dull in this context is shiny. Shiny. The picture looked dull, so Mom washed it. The picture looked shiny when she was done. Let's look at the next one. He wanted to read a short story. See how it's one page and there aren't a lot of words on it. His teacher made him read a small one or a long one. Short and small, they sound kind of close, don't they? A short story and a small story. So these are almost like synonyms. They almost mean the same thing. So if he wanted to read a short story, his teacher made him read a small one? Maybe, but if we're looking for the opposite, the teacher's probably not going to let him read a small or short one. She probably wants him to read a what? Long one. So in this context, the opposite of short is long. Not small. Small and short mean about the same thing here. His teacher wanted him to read a long story. Those are antonyms. They're opposites. He wanted to read a short story. His teacher wanted him to, look, him read a long one. Wanted him read a long one. He's a caveman teacher. His teacher made him, I was thinking wanted. His teacher made him read a long one. His teacher wanted him to read a long one. See, I wasn't paying attention, then I made it my own sentence. Well, I'm a teacher, I can do that sort of thing. All right, let's go to the next one. Yeah, I know. I'm awake, I'm making a mistake. Let's analyze it. I was talking and not paying attention, just like so many of you did in class. All right, let's do the last one together. Sasha lives near the playground. So here's Sasha's house, and here's the playground. Regan lives blank from it. Does Regan live, now I did see a mistake. Next to the playground? Or does Regan live far from the playground? If Sasha is near it and Regan is next to it, that's basically the same thing. So it can't be next to. Regan and Sasha don't both live next to or near the playground. Sasha lives near the playground, so Regan lives far away from it. Regan lives far from it. So we have day, and the opposite is night. We have dull, and the opposite is shiny. We have short, and the opposite is long. We have near, and the opposite is far. So the antonyms here are day and night, dull and shiny, short and long, near and far. And essentially synonyms, which are words that mean the same thing, but they don't necessarily sound the same, and they're not necessarily spelled the same. Day, morning is part of the day. They'd be more synonymous. Dull and dirty, they would be more synonymous. Short and small, they would be more synonymous. And near and next to, they would be more synonymous, more closely related to each other. Wow, that was some really big learning, big math in a small space, big language arts in a small space. But as you're getting ready to face the summer, I want you to make sure and come back and visit this information again and again and again so that your brain stays open and flexible. So next year when you come back to school, you won't just be regulated, you will really be ready to learn. And again, get someone bigger than you to help get some traction action on these and pull this learning, stretch this learning further. Come back to it, like make a list of opposites. put those opposites on flashcards and play a matching game, or someone can do them like flashcards. They show one, you have to tell the other, or you have to find it in a pile quickly, so that you're making your brain stay really loose and flexible in recognizing antonyms. That was super awesome. Okay, schema store is closing. Shop is shut. You'll have to come back later to get more of my schema. Till then, here's some pride. Go ahead and put it inside. Feels good. Oh, here's some love. You can keep that for later, or you can have some of it now if you need it. So until later, super teacher, out.